Welcome to my channel, Living Linux. Now that I installed the Raspberry Pi 4 into the FLIRC case, I think it should be possible to overclock it. So there is the official Raspberry Pi magazine, the MagPi, and they have an article on how to overclock the Raspberry Pi 4. So default, the maximum clock speed is 1.5 gigahertz, but it is possible to overclock it to even above 2 gigahertz. But they do say that when you start overclocking, then it's probably better to have a case with at least passive cooling and preferably active cooling. Well, I already tested things a little bit and I tried to go for the maximum, but I was no longer to boot into the Pop! OS desktop. So I think I'll just have to settle for this overclocking. And they say that you can get the actual speed by typing this in the terminal. Well, that's interesting. It says something failed. Well, when that doesn't work, then we still have this. We can try to do it like this. And then it says 1.9 gigahertz. And because I'm using the simple screen recorder, and apparently when you put it on 2 gigahertz, it doesn't really push it to its limit. You still have a little bit of headroom. But I will show you how you can overclock. And they tell you that you have to make the changes in the config.txt file. Well, you can find it in the boot. And then you have to go to firmware. And there you can see the file config.txt is there. And I'm just using gedit as sudo, or at least using sudo. So I'm really sure I can make changes to the file. Now, there was nothing there for overclocking, so I just added these 3 lines myself. So by default, the maximum is 1.5 gigahertz, and for me, it is possible to clock it to 2 gigahertz with the FLIRC case, and I can feel that it's warming up. It's not hot, but it's definitely warming up. And as I said before, so far I wasn't able to put it to the max. I'll try to figure out what is possible. But so far this is possible in the FLIRC case. Now, one more thing. I was also getting messages that we were running out of disk space. And the thing is that the partition by default is 8 GB. So as you can see, I enlarged it to 64 GB. So you can select the second partition, just click on the cogwheels, and then you can do resize, and then you can just, well, hopefully you have a big SD card, and then you can choose something bigger and then click on resize. That might take a while depending on how fast your micro SD card is. So in this case I already did this, but you can do this on the fly. Probably it's a good idea not to be doing anything serious, probably as little as possible, and then it's possible to do this on the fly. So I hope these 2 tips will make Pop! OS a more pleasurable experience. That's all for today, and I hope to see you again in my next video.